Welcome back. Joining us now is Bryce Burge. And Bryce, the women's basketball team got their first NCAA tournament win since 2001 on Friday.
And it was a close nail-biter, give you a heart attack win. It was 52-51 over University of Indianapolis, who was the 2 seed and regular season champion of the Great Lakes Valley Conference. It was a close game all the way to the end, with the final point being scored on a Stephanie Stager free throw. It was her only point of the game. Afterwards, it was with about 10 to 15 seconds left on the clock. Indianapolis got a couple of good looks right underneath the basket, but that NMU defense really stepped up the entire game. It forced a high shot that went off the glass, got a last-second desperation shot that went for an air ball, and NMU was able to take the 52-51 win. It was a big upset. Erickson led the way for the Wildcats with 16 points. 12 of them came from the three-point arc or behind it. Dunham and Lexon also added 12 and 11 points each from down in the paint. And NMU out-rebounded University of Indianapolis, who averaged about 4 to 5 inches taller for the average roster height, 38-35, with Alicia DeRusha and Kelly Rietfeld leading the way with 7 rebounds each. And it was really great to see that, because it showed that defensive presence that isn't really seen in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. It played into the hands of Northern, and it resulted with Indianapolis having their lowest scoring game of the season.
Unfortunately, on Sunday, though, the season came to an end for the Cats.
It did. The team lost 59-51 to the Drury Panthers, a great team from Springfield, Missouri. They were the Great Lakes Valley champions in the tournament, and there were very many interesting ways that you could look at this. NMU actually had the lead going into the second half, a 27-26 lead at halftime, but scored only 24 points in the second half. Shot only 1 3-pointer out of 7 tries, and went 3 for 8 from the free throw line. And those were a lot of missed opportunities. And a lot of those missed opportunities came from a lot of momentum shifts that were caused by the refs. It was a big enough problem to make every single semifinal round radio broadcaster point the referee out by name. So when you know that happens, then the ref has too much power in that game. It was very similar to what happened with Michigan Tech when they came here earlier in the year. What happened is a lot of questionable calls led the Panthers to get to the bonus and the double bonus with 11 minutes and 9 minutes left to go in the game. And when you've got offensive trips that end in the free throw line, that you can just make easy shots, it changes the game from a defensive standpoint that Northern wants to an offensive standpoint that really any Great Lakes Valley Conference team wants, and that caused a big deal and shift, and was very hard for the Wildcats to overcome. They stuck in it very well, and Coach Madsen said that in the post-game conference. But there were a lot of opportunities that just weren't capitalized, and that's what did it in for the Wildcats. But that defense, though, despite having all the problems that they did, still kept Drury to their lowest shooting percentage day of the season. And it's darn good when you realize that the Drury Panthers are the #1 team in shooting percentage in the country.
Tough way to end the year, Bryce, but it was all in all a great season for the Cats.
It was. You ended the season 22-10, second place in the GLIAC, both in the tournament and the regular season. Last year, we were out first round of the GLIAC tournament with an 8 seed. We make it to the NCAAs for the first time since 2001, first time under Troy Madsen. We fought through multiple injuries. You had Mariah Dunham's issue with her ankle and back. Hillary Bowling had a concussion after a game against Grand Valley. Stephanie Stagers had problems with her knees, 2 torn meniscuses. So, when you can overcome all that and only have 10 losses throughout the season, I mean, Tiffin would love to be in the, love to lose to a team like Drury in the NCAAs, just because that's a program that hasn't been there before. And now it's going to take a lot of work to rebuild, especially down in the paint. Angie Lexon and Mariah Dunham, this was their last games as Wildcat basketball players. Lexon will continue on in the spring track and field season as she is a dual sport athlete. Mariah Dunham was able to wrap up her career as a Wildcat and just an overall great player around us. She had many great years at Wisconsin-Madison too. We're also losing Holly Cole, who came up big by shooting 2 free throws after a technical in this game and a big three-pointer. She had a great drive against Indianapolis too, and you know that's a leadership aspect that you're going to miss. So we're gonna be in a good position next year. We have to worry about teams like Grand Valley, who was young, but I think Michigan Tech is on its way out. This will be their final year of dominance in the GLIAC North. So if NMU can get a big playmaker, NMU is going to be the team beat next year.
Yeah, hopefully NMU can keep this success going into the future. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the show. For Bryce Burge and the entire Cat Chat crew, I'm Pete Francis. We'll see you this weekend at the Joe.